Hey, all. Just again, a quick point. I wanted to talk about a righteous mindset for the end times, and again, all I can speak about is just what the Spirit is interacting with me that is assigned to me. However that works, I don't know. But I was thinking about how do I go about this time period, which there's a lot of lies and there's all this stuff going on. That God's people are not co-signing the way I've been thinking about this and what I feel like is being told to me is that a righteous mindset is that basically to me the rapture is needed since people want to leave but don't want to wish evil upon others. It's like the people that will be taken away are those that just need rescuing, from this life, but also understand that there is another fuller story, completion to the story that needs to happen, and it's not necessary or good for those people to be here on earth because, like I've said many times in other videos, you're required to sin to live in this world, whether you like that statement or not. It's pretty much required to stay alive and to function in this society, to be involved in even like minor sins, lying, supporting evil, the thoughts, the things that we're subjected to look at, the things that even just laughing at a joke that's not funny, just to make it comfortable for people, that's also a sin, and all those subtle kind of things that we have to do, or it's very difficult to avoid all of them, maybe is a better way to say it. So the rapture to me is God's way of relieving those people from the burdens and the restrictions of the world, but there's still something that has to be done afterwards, and the Bible and especially Revelation talks about that, the battle that will happen between God's angels and those that are remaining on earth. And so the way I see it is that we have to have a mindset of like, ultimately God decides who leaves and who doesn't and all that. But let's say you're one of those people who are taken away. And I've said this in past video, if I'm not taken away, I'm just going to jump off a bridge. Like there's absolutely no way I'm slugging it out at that point because I hate being here currently. So if I see like people or hear stories of people gone, you can count me as gone as well within the next few hours. But if people want to stay here, we have to have the mindset of like, let them stay. If they enjoy this place, and they're okay here at least, and whatever, live their job and like whatever leisure that they have, we shouldn't be jealous or hate on them. It's like that's great. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. We know that from the Bible. So the attitude of those I feel who are raptured are like, let them have the earth. It's fine. Like obviously we have to call out sin and stick up for other people and pursue righteousness and avoid intermingling with the sin that's on the earth, definitely. But I think especially spiritual people should have the attitude like it's okay. Like we've lost, like evil is winning by a lot, and I would actually go as far as to say I can't see how much more evil the world can be. Not necessarily because of like violence and stuff like that. It's just lack of faith. There is an absolute lack of faith permeating really all groups, and even those that love God, and I would look at myself as someone who's been pursuing God at different intensities throughout my life. But I see probably with a majority of my life would be more pointing towards a lack of faith, than operating, with a deep faith. So that's just, that's the way the world is right now. I really do think that this is about as bad as it can get for it to be livable. And a bigger indication of that is that, non-religious people, non-spiritual people are starting to complain heavily. So how much more would God's people be, sighing and crying for having to, be subjected to this? And I think I also have to be very careful too when I'm petitioning God about, the misery of this life, is that I have to make sure that I'm asking God to leave for the right reasons. It's not just because like, it's not like a very like short-sighted request. It's really understanding, why I'm asking to leave, and for what reasons, and make sure they're the right reasons, and preparing for that. And I'm not the best at it, to be honest. Like, there's a lot of things that I still think that, even though I despise the society, that I'm still clinging to, that are not righteous. And pornography and things related to women and sexual stuff is definitely one of the major areas. And so there's moments where I have to catch myself. It's like I can be frustrated with the world, but I can't be swimming in the deep end of the things that I'm complaining about. And so that's something that I have to I think about regularly. But so we have to petition to leave for the right reasons, and if we are one of the lucky ones that gets taken away before the severe destruction begins. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. I do think the righteous mindset for the end times is that, is as much as we have to call out evil and stuff, it's to like basically not, rain on other people's parade, literally. That's God's job, to decide what misery or what joy people experience. I feel the righteous thing for God's people to say with biblical support is that you cannot live, not just in Babylon or America, you cannot live in this world now without being stained even mildly with sin. You have to you have to pander to your boss, you have to pay taxes to evil governments. First, you just have to touch digital money and paper money. That alone is bad. You have to breathe disgusting air, you have to eat garbage food, you have to witness homeless people, people who are struggling, and you have to also witness other people, and we have to not do this ourselves, but speak ill of the poor, and just not do anything. It's just and don't get me started on these politicians and all their speeches and all that stuff that we have to put up with. Trump is just one of the many, and so to me that's a very valid request, is that if God says his people should obey the law and need to obey the law, and be fervent about their desire to want to obey the law, but can't all around the world, I don't know what else could be enough to signify the end but that.